Welcome back everybody once again to today's video of DIY investing. Bitcoin has finally stopped its upward movement and is now having a significant sell-off. The entire market is bleeding significantly. Most cryptos down anywhere from about 10 to 15% in losses. Are you one of those people that was stuck buying the top, or are you able to actually accumulate all of this fear going on today? Today I wanted to go through and actually analyze Bitcoin, give you guys an update with the total market cap, and give you guys my thoughts moving forward with where I'm expecting things to kind of bottom out and what I'm expecting in the short-term future. If you guys like my analysis and want to see more of it, click the invitation in the description of this video and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Do myself a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates in the future. With all that being said, let's jump right in the video today. Welcome back everybody, let's jump right into it today. Today I just wanted to go over and give you guys a quick market update with some things that we're seeing currently inside of the crypto markets. Bitcoin finally had its pullback. We got that top that we were expecting. I made my last video update yesterday and talked about how I was expecting a trend reversal to come soon. And in fact, we did that. And what happened to the market in the wake of all of that mess is a massive sell-off. As you can see, most coins are down from anywhere from about 10 to 15%. There are a few that are up, but not very many in the grand scheme of things. And so this is kind of what I was expecting. With prices going super parabolic, you usually always get a significant retrace on the opposite end. And with Bitcoin continuing to go parabolic, it was just a matter of time before that actually kind of happened and came into fruition. So this is what I was watching for. Currently, the majority of the market is down, as to be expected, considering they all follow Bitcoin's cycle. Market cap's currently sitting at 224 billion. 24-hour volume at about 104 billion. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 56.3%. So we had a sell-off of about $40 billion in market cap, pretty significant drop throughout. So to start off this video, we're going to go ahead and dive into the total market cap, kind of give you guys my thoughts of what I'm watching with things moving forward with here. Now, my targets for this were 200 billion to 220 billion to 240 billion. We in fact hit all of those targets. In fact, we came all the way up and tested 260 billion before we finally got the majority retrace. And so things are looking very good overall for the market. This is a healthy correction to be expected when you see prices continuously going so parabolic. And now we're going to look for a retrace to follow. Where exactly is that going to land, and where can we see us in the next couple months to follow? Now, kind of what I'm watching for thus far is I think that we're going to get a retrace to about $180 billion in market cap. And then even up here to about 200 billion. These are going to be my first two targets that I'm going to be watching for this coming retrace. It is possible that we go a little bit lower, but with Bitcoin really just taking off like it did, breaking out of that 6K floor, I find it less likely because I still expect us to have one more final impulse up before this entire move from lows, from December lows, is completely finished. So this is kind of what I'm watching out for. I'm thinking that we're going to get a retrace down to these areas and then we'll start to get our next rally up. I don't think that this retrace is going to be very long at all. I think that it's going to be very short-lived as far as the severity of it. I don't think that we'll sit here and consolidate and accumulate for a long time, just because of the fact that this is the top of the three-way. Finish the 3, and now we're retracing into the 4. Now, relatively speaking, according to Elliott wave theory, the 4-wave retrace is the shortest. There's the most value propping prices up in this time, and so you're not expecting things to go all the way back down here and retest about 144 billion. That would just look a little bit unorthodox as far as Elliott wave theory goes. And so this is kind of what I'm going to be watching out for. First targets at 200 billion. I think that if we can get a strong reaction from this level, that's going to look a little bit more bullish, but we're going to have to watch and see. But after that, I would expect a strong impulse up to, we could see something like 470 billion in this next 5-wave, but it really depends how parabolic this 5-wave gets. Now, I'm not going to make that my first target. My first target is going to be here at about 306, so just under 300 billion. We'll just go with that. 300 billion is going to be my first target. And if we can break that, then I would expect a very strong blow off top that would take us closer to almost 500 billion at 470. So if we pull up some fibs, let's see how this lines up with the current cycle. So the 618 would be 550 billion. The 382 takes us to about 382 billion. My target here is closer to the 236, but we also got closer to the 236 at the top of the 3. But it really, like I said, it really just depends on how parabolic this 5 wave gets with like Bitcoin. Because I mean, if Bitcoin gets extremely parabolic, something we could see is an impulse all the way up here to, like I said, the $470 billion range, and we could see something super drastic upwards of the 550 billion. I find it less likely that we're going to see something super parabolic like this, but we don't know. I mean, Bitcoin surprised everybody in this last cycle that we just saw here with this overextended 3 wave. Oftentimes something that happens with Elliott wave theory is you have an overextended 3 wave, and then the 5 wave can get overextended as well, depending on how much hype is really driving into this market. We're going to have to watch and see kind of what the volume tells us. If there's a significant amount of volume coming in that's dwarfing the previous move, then you might start to suspect that we could see an overextended 5 wave in that time. But for now, I'm going to keep it short and simple. Take my targets one at a time. Once we hit those, take some profits and just kind of move on as we venture closer into the cycle. Now, this is what I'm going to be watching out for Bitcoin. On the short term with the total market cap, keep in mind, I say Bitcoin because Bitcoin's really that driver. We watch the total market cap, but we're also watching Bitcoin predominantly just because of the fact it is that driver of value inside of the market. The altcoins are nice, but they're not going to do anything without Bitcoin's help, so it's most important to be watching Bitcoin, which now takes us to the next part of the video, the great mighty Bitcoin. Now, with Bitcoin, I made an update yesterday, and I was watching for this support level, and I said it looks like we are getting some sort of a double top here, and I was watching for support to break, and once support breaks, that's a confirmed trend reversal, and in fact we got a major sell through that, way more significant than I was expecting. I'm sure way more significant than most people were expecting. I know that there was a couple members in the Discord that mentioned something about that, and I know that they got filled in, so shout out to them. They're already in profit. Way to trade your strategy and stick through that. But yeah, we got a very major sell-off in that time. For my update of the video, I think that we were like somewhere right here. So we got a sell of about 22%, and that's something I was calling. I said that I think it's more likely that at the top of this 4 wave, we get something less of a 40% sell-off, something less of a 40% sell-off and more closely related to about a 20%, just because of the fact I still expect more upside to come. So it's a very extended 3 wave. We came all the way down and retested this $6,200 area, and now I would expect us to start actually moving back up closer to that 10K mark. I think the 10K is going to be a good target for us for this next move. I don't know how impulsive this 5 wave is going to get, but 10K seems to be a reasonable target that we could expect to see, especially with the severity of this impulse ups thus far. It is possible that we go even higher than that, but for now I'm going to be watching 10K as my resistance. I think that that's more reasonable to start out with. But with things going so far, that we got a very strong bullish reaction from this initial sell-off. Lots of bulls bought the dip. There's lots of people looking to buy at this 6K floor, and in fact, they did so. And so for me personally, I'm seeing some people call for lows at down here at about the $5,500 area. I don't find that that's as likely just because of the fact we are in a 4-wave retrace. I find it more likely that we would stop and maintain support of this 6K floor that held us for so long before we do get a nice reaction on the opposite end. Now, from where we're sitting at currently in prices, it looks as if we could get a bounce in the short term back up to retest some of these previous highs, because we did just break through and sell off very, very drastically. And so I would expect some sort of a bounce, maybe like a relief rally in the short term. If we drop it to an hour, we are getting a little bit of bullish divergence. It's only on the hourly time frame, so there's not a whole lot of substance to this, but it is something to watch out for. We're making lower lows in price. Prices look like they could be at some sort of a support level right here. So we're just going to have to watch and see. But we could get a short-term bounce. If we do get a bounce, this is going to look a little bit more bullish because this big sell-off that we had really got bought up very quickly. And I know a lot of people were buying this dip because they are expecting further highs to come. So this is kind of what I'm going to be watching out for. It really depends how far we drop. If we break below this mark at about 68.30, then I would expect us to kind of start selling off a little bit more drastic and probably come back down to retest this wick that we saw here at about 6,200, right in that area. But that is if we break the 68.30 floor. If we break through that, then I would expect this to come back down and retest the $6,200 area. Now, do I think that we're going to break through this floor that held us here? No, I do not. I believe that we're going to most likely start impulsing back out of that into this final 5 wave, which my first target is going to be 10K. That's my most reasonable price target for the next cycle, just because of the fact I think that that's a pretty major resistance right here. Now, it's possible that we go even higher. We could come up to about 11.5 to even 12. But like I said, it all just depends on how parabolic this 5 wave gets, which it can get very parabolic. We can definitely overextend. There's always that possibility to watch out for. It's also a possibility that this 5 wave is shorter lived than anybody's expecting, especially with all of the euphoria that came with this 3 wave impulse. But like I said, guys, we're just going to want to monitor the market, kind of just pay attention to what's going on as a whole. And for the most part, it looks as if things are starting to settle back down after this initial impulse up. I think we'll have a few weeks now of sideways consolidation. We're going to kind of figure out where this floor is going to be, where we're going to bounce up and out of this, because it's not going to be immediate. I think that we will probably range here for a little while, something that we haven't really seen much of, because I mean, we did get a little bit of a range right here, but for the most part, it really wasn't a very solid range. It was kind of a prices just still maintaining that uptrend and going more and more parabolic. So with this 4 wave retrace, I think that in this time it'll kind of bleed the alts. The alts will kind of settle back down. But once we hit this 5 wave, the 5 wave is really going to be where I'm watching for all of these alt profits to be made. I know that we got a little bit of a parity inside of the final 5 of the 3 of this impulse, and that's kind of what happens. Relatively speaking, alts follow Bitcoin in the 5 wave, and it doesn't really matter if it's the 5 of the 1, the 5 of the 3, or the 5 of the 5. It usually parodies somewhat, but the majority of the alts will actually have a significant rally in the 5 of the 5, and that's where Bitcoin, all the people are taking profits with Bitcoin, smart money's taking profits with Bitcoin, and then that's really where that money starts to leave Bitcoin and starts to trickle back down in some of these alts. And so I would expect alt season. This was more of a pregame with alt season. Call it preseason, if you will. I think that we're going to have a little bit more consolidation before things get super, super crazy. But the 5 wave is where I'm going to be watching for the real alt season to start, where prices break all-time highs and go extremely parabolic. I think we'll have a little bit of consolidation in the meantime. But until then, this is just going to be what I'm watching out for. I do believe we'll hold support at this floor that we held support on for a significant part of that bear market. It seems unlikely that we're going to just break through that. I see us busting through that on the upside fairly easily. I don't see why we wouldn't hold support on that as well. So this is going to be what I'm watching out for, guys. This is what I wanted to update you with. Some very drastic things happened overnight. Figured I might as well give you guys a quick update with kind of what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be structuring myself with going forward with this cycle. Overall, good things are coming. If you were somebody that was taking profits in the top of this, now it's the time to be deploying those profits into some altcoins, buying back in BTC the lower that we dip here. And some of you guys that already bought back BTC, shout out to you. You guys are awesome. That is really cool that you were able to kind of spot that trend. You weren't getting stuck in all of the emotions and euphoria on the way up, because a lot of people did. A lot of people bought this top. Even some of the best traders, guys, you got to understand, even some of the better traders, or some people that you would view as a better trader, maybe it's on Twitter, maybe it's on TradingView, wherever it might be, a lot of people were posting significantly bullish signals at this time, saying that we were about to go much higher. and those people were also buying. Now, a lot of them as well were just margin trading, so I'm sure they got stopped out, but some traders were definitely buying up all of this greed in this time, and now they're paying for it on the way back down. So remember, guys, even if you get left behind a little bit and things go parabolic, just don't FOMO. It's the worst thing you're ever going to be able to do in this time. Just wait for that retrace, because I mean, overnight we sold off 22% and hit my target. So that just goes to show, if you had buy orders that were set down here, you're now filled, you're now ready to ride the next cycle up, and you're ready to go for whatever's going to happen in this Bitcoin cycle. Whereas those people that bought the top, they're now stuck bag holding losses, and they won't be profiting until probably halfway through Bitcoin's 5-wave. And so what they could have been doing is taking those profits and deploying them into alts, could have been buying up all of the fear that we're seeing throughout the market today. So this just goes to show, this is a life lesson for you guys. Don't get caught up in the emotions of trading. Just stick to a plan and trade that plan through. No matter what happens, even if you're right or wrong, just remember to use your risk management, use those stop losses. Even if you were buying up here, you should have understood that now is a very oversold time. Prices are extremely parabolic, and it's more risky for me to be taking positions in this time. So if you were taking positions, always remember next time to be using those stop losses, especially when things are going parabolic like this. It's very easy to get caught up in things and then end up missing out significantly. So here's the update I had for you guys. Wanted to share my thoughts moving forward. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more, please do myself a favor by clicking the subscribe button, like, comment, and follow me for more updates in the future. If you guys want to get more access to my private analysis, click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you will get access to my Discord server. With all that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. As always, peace out.